You know who's fucking nuts? The cops that put that fucking thing in a body bag and then remove the mask. Is it the same cops? Five, they put him in a cell with a mask on.
National Guard will take him to a maximum security facility, where he'll stay till the day he dies.
What the fuck is this?
Come play with us, Daddy.
It's the power of Christ that compels you.
Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Arrow in the Head Show. Of course, my name is Lance, the Arrow himself, Mr. John Fallon. And of course, back once again is our old friend, Tyler Nichols. Everybody, how you doing?
Good, very good, very good. Couldn't have a better day.
Yeah.
It's been a smooth sailing, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the Christmas spirit, so of course, since I'm in the Christmas spirit, I want to talk some Halloween.
If you want to call it that. You mean Dawson's Creek, right?
Start of our Christmas season, right? So
we start with H20, you know?
Yeah, exactly. In January, we'll get to some sort of Christmas movie, I'm assuming, you know?
To be fair, this has been a long time coming, so.
Yeah. The second we heard you loved it, we're like, we got to do this show.
I wish people could know, like, the behind the scenes of how much shit John and Lance have already given me for this movie, because it's just been mentioned of like, yeah, we'll do H2O eventually. Well, so I have a question for you guys.
Oh,
what are you drinking?
Okay. Well, I last episode, John, I was drinking the 90-minute Dogfish Head. I'm on my last one, so I thought might as well drink it here, so it keeps me a little bit sober throughout the week. And because I'm assuming I'm going to need more alcohol for a conversation like this, I just bottled my Georgia Peach Mead today.
Nice.
So we'll see how it tastes. I've been waiting.
Well, today I've got some, since it's, holidays, I've got some eggnog with some Evan Williams whiskey. It's like the pre-made mix, so it's honestly shockingly strong. So
it's my favorite premix, actually. I love that premix. I used to get all the time at Mariano's.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So definitely recommend it for anyone that wants something eggnog, because I feel like that's another thing during the holidays is I can never find just eggnog, just simple eggnog. It's always sold out. So, hey. At least you got some eggnog that already has the good stuff in it.
You love that Evan Williams shit, eh? You can't get enough.
Mm-hmm.
With the whiskey connoisseur, huh?
Yep.
I'm going to have to give another shot. I'm drinking, pardon my Spanish, Cerveza Pacífico Clara. La Cerveza del Pacífico. I think that's Spanish for piss. That's what I think it is. But it's a good piss. And yeah, on that, cheers to you, gentlemen. Cheers to everybody watching, listening.
Hello, my friends! Hey!
Woo! Okay. Halloween H2O. Why was it called that again? Water? Oh, no. It was 20 years
20 years later.
Right?
Yes.
Right. Really clever shit. Yeah.
Directed by Steve Miner, which is pretty big 80s horror guy.
Friday the 13th, Part 2, Part 3, Warlock. Actually, funnily enough, John Carpenter was going to direct. And because Jamie Lee Curtis wanted the whole gang to, back together again. And Carpenter had a $10 million fee to direct it because he figured it would compensate for how much he got fucked on the money he didn't make on the first Halloween. And of course, it was the Weinsteins, I guess, right?
Yep, it was.
Weinstein said, no dice. But that would have been interesting, what Carpenter would have done with this story, kind of like really full circle and a real ending. Because for me, Rob Zombie had his remakes and Blumhouse did that thing. For me, H2O is the last Halloween. For me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm glad you think so. I agree because it has a very good definitive ending, and it's one of the reasons that I think that the Halloween franchise is so fun, because there's different stopping points depending on what kind of a fan you are. Yeah. So there's some people that they're just like, nope, it ends after the first one. Nope, it ends after H2O. Nope, it ends after Resurrection. Nope, it ends. So I like that aspect. It doesn't quite end at H2O in that I still like the David Gordon Green, the first two films. However, I don't like Resurrection, so in terms of that Laurie storyline, I like to ignore all the Resurrection stuff, because if you watch 1, 2, and H2O as like a trilogy, I like the arc that Laurie has in it.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, one thing that's interesting in the script...
Lance.
Don't worry. Don't worry, Lance. I'm being nice right now. We're warming up. The beatdown is coming. In the script, they had like a student reading a history of Haddonfield and the murders, which actually addressed Jamie Lloyd narrative, everything. It would have made it like a real series, but they pussied out at the end, and let's ignore 4, 5, 6, and did 1, 2, H2O, which seems to be a pattern they have, right? Because Gordon Green's stuff also ignored. Actually, Gordon Green. I'm not gonna start. I'm just gonna say this. He ignored part 2, so she's not his sister, which negates the existence of the Laurie Strode, Michael Myers thingo. I'll leave it at that.
There's something I'd like you to mention, though, is that script that actually ties in the sequels was the pitch that I believe Kevin Williamson made. Is this not true?
Yeah, I did a bit of research on the script. Maybe Tyler knows this because he's like a fangirl for this movie, but I did research and I had a hard time like figuring out who wrote it. So I think somebody wrote it. No, Williamson pitched it. Somebody wrote it. Williamson came back, did a polish on it, but couldn't get a credit with WGA. So he wound up with a producer or executive producer credit. Am I correct, Tyler?
Williamson, I know, did a like last minute polish on it. I think it was mostly a dialogue polish, but yeah,
you could tell.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much trying to rip off Scream, because Scream was just the 2 years prior. But with that said, I think that because they were trying to do that postmodern approach, I think because of that, the opening I absolutely love, because, and yes, I see the look on both your faces, it's because of how smart Marion Crane is. As soon as she notices something is amiss, she's constantly getting out of there. She's not, the man in the back.
She's not that fucking smart, because somebody breaks into my house and I run next door. I say, somebody broke into my house, some little fucking twerp with a hockey stick. And I called the cops already, by the way. I called the cops. Cops are coming. Twerp the hockey stick, goes into my house. I'm going to trust that motherfucker, right? Yeah, it's all clear. Steals my beer. Who cares? Yeah, it's all clear. Go in. I'm like, no, I'm not going in. Wait for the cops. You think I'm going to trust the fucking judgment of some guy who doesn't even have fucking pubes yet? Fuck that shit. So I disagree. She was smart at first. When she ran out and went next door, I'm like, okay, look at this shit. But then, the kid investigates and she goes right back in. I'm like,
but as soon as she notices that something's amiss, that's when she then darts back to the other house.
Dude,
that's just what I'm saying.
You stand on the sidewalk, you wait for the cops. That's it.
Hey, we still need a movie. We still need a horror movie to be made here.
Well, then he could creep behind her and, slit her throat. But I thought that was stupid personally, which completely negates what you just said.
I'm going to bring in a positive for this scene. They used the Halloween 6 mask, and that's always been my favorite of the original. And it's the only time Michael Myers doesn't look like an idiot.
Yes.
Are there 2 different masks in this in the opening? I know throughout. I just meant in the opening.
Yeah,
I believe that this is a scene, the H6 mask, and then when they get to school, it's the
Candy
mask, and then the Stan Winston mask, I believe.
Yeah, and the digital mask. I love the digital mask.
Oh, we'll get to that because I feel like that's its own section.
We'll get to it.
I gotta say it though, you're multi-million-dollar fucking production here, man. Is it so hard to take the fucking Shatner mask, spray it white, cut out the eyes, put it on, call it a fucking day? Like the fact that even happened shows, to me anyways, too many cooks in the kitchen. Everybody's had an opinion. It's a fucking mask. Michael Myers has had that mask, part 1, part 2, part 4, part 5. Well, part 5, that was a horrible mask. The nerd mask.
Yeah.
But just the fact that was an issue and they went in and VFX the mask is like, you guys got your thumbs up your ass, so you know what you're doing? What?
I believe that was a Weinstein issue, because that's why they started shooting with the H6 mask, because why wouldn't they? And then they got dailies back, didn't like it, so then they made a switch, but then it was either, I think the director didn't like the change, so then they were constantly shooting with the third mask. So then when it would get dailies back, they would then get upset. And so it was just like constant back and forth. There are scenes where one shot, and then the next shot, the mask is different.
Yeah, I don't know. Krusty the Clown, that's what it reminded me of.
Krusty the Clown. See, and I think that there are some really good shots of him, but I do agree there's some where he kind of just looks like a dweeb, and mostly in how he moves. His movement can be very strange. But I like you're talking about the low shot, I assume, of him walking in the school, and I actually like that because it kind of makes him look bigger because usually he doesn't look
like
big.
A skinny twerp, to be honest. Krusty the Clown, really. I can't stress it enough. That's who I saw. So Tyler, why do you love this movie so much? Let's start with that, and then we'll pick you apart.
So I really enjoy just dumb 90s movies, and I'm a big fan of the Scream franchise. So I like anything that feels like very Scream-like, and they definitely tried to go for the Scream feel in this. I mean, they even replaced the whole score with Malco Beltrami's score from Scream, and they show Scream 2 on the TV, which was not what like Steve Miner had intended. It was supposed to be, I think, Night of the Living Dead, which of course that's always what's on the TV. I'm sure there's even videos of me saying it on my own YouTube channel of me not liking this movie, because I have gone up and down with this over the years, especially the David Gordon Green trilogy has really just cemented this one for me as just being fun. I like how Laurie acts in this. It seems like she actually was able to live a little bit of a life. It's not like she was just nonstop trauma, like that she was actually able to have a kid, and she seems like she's doing well. She's off in California. Again, like I said earlier, I like the arc of the Laurie character, because I know you guys hate the WB cast, which again, I don't have as big of a problem with because I like Josh Hartnett. Like, I think he's a good actor. Michelle Williams also thinks she's a good actress. And I don't think that they're really in it a ton.
I personally felt we were actually in the middle section where they decided to be really rebellious and completely fucking out of control, where they're just going to eat food hidden in the fucking cellars. That's what I do. Nobody's getting some play, you know, there's nobody smoking dope. I don't even think they were, oh yeah, they were drinking or trying to drink because the dude went to look for a corkscrew, right?
Yeah, Jumanji.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Look, I love what they did with Laurie. I like the fact that, like you said, her character arc, you know, she's under, she changed her name. She's in hiding, scared. It's Halloween, all that shit. Her relationship with her son, I also liked. And I don't hate Josh Hartnett. I think he's a fine actor and needs a haircut, but... But he's a fine actor, and it was his first film actually. And
you can lean into it. I'm going to be the one that says positive stuff. Tear it apart, John. Let's go.
You know what? In complete honesty, after watching the last ones, the Gordon Green ones, made me appreciate this one more. On this watch, I've realized this, and there's no wrong or right. Either you love him or you hate him, or you're lukewarm, whatever. With some time away from the Gordon Green trilogy and now watching H2O, I've realized that I really don't care for Gordon Green's trilogy. I will most likely never, ever watch it again. H2O is fluff. It's 86 minutes long. Everything you liked about it, Tyler, is what I didn't like. I love Scream. I love Scream too. Yeah, I love Scream. In Scream. I don't need to see Norma's car from Psycho. I don't need the Psycho music playing in the background. It's not Halloween. I don't need fucking the cinematography to be so bright and look like Dawson's Creek. That's not Halloween. I don't need a generic Scream-ish like score. That's not Halloween. It's Scream.
I'll give you that.
The best moment actually in the film for me is when Michael is coming. The first encounter, the face-to-face between Laurie and Michael. I thought that was even though I think the mask changes 50 times on his way there, but I think that was the most suspenseful scene in the movie, and it was a good scene, the way it was edited, the way it was shot, and the final fight, it was entertaining. Actually, I'm sure you guys know this, but Jamie Lee Curtis, before the shoot, she found out, man, Michael's not going to be dead because Mustafa Akkad has a clause in his contract that you can't kill Michael. And she was kind of like pissed off about it because she wanted it to end. That's why she came back to the Gordon Green movies, but that's another story. Basically, the deal was, they're like, look, we're not going to hint that it's not over at the end of the film. So for the audience, it will be over. But once they wrapped, they right away went and shot the whole paramedic switcheroo for H8 right there and then.
Yeah, I shot it with a skeleton crew where it's like
5 people, and so,
which is so funny because it's like it takes away such a cool ending, which obviously we're not to the ending yet, but it's just, I don't know why they went back on that silly, especially when
money.
Because money. Michael's got to live.
we've gotten, 6 movies after that. Only one of them was actually a sequel to this. So we could have gotten more Halloween movies and that could have still been the end. They didn't need, they could have just rebooted it and not done Resurrection.
Also, I mean, if you look at this movie, it actually doesn't make sense. He like goes after Laurie, you know? And anybody who had that accent would just take the mask off. Did the turn and then like needed help by going after Laurie Strode's neck. Perfectly normal for a paramedic, you know?
Well, and also, so why is Laurie has this really triumphant moment, and why does she then go to a mental asylum?
She kills some paramedic. He had kids. I rewatched the opening of H8, and it says, yeah, he had children and a wife and children. So she's kind of like, they thought, oh, this chick is nuts. Nobody took into account that Michael Myers disguised himself. You know, they didn't take into account. So, you killed somebody. You know who's fucking nuts? The cops that put that fucking thing in a body bag and didn't remove the mask. Is it the same cops? 5, they put him in a cell with a mask on. You know, come on, man.
They want to respect him. Then the new Halloween when I was a kid was H6, but I was just young enough for like my parents wouldn't take me to see it. So this was the first one I ever saw in theaters. And I remember it was a big deal. It was a new Halloween. Laurie Strode is back. It's Jamie Lee Curtis. This was a big deal. I was at that age where like I'd seen Scream, and this was the big thing. I remember coming out of it. I couldn't quite wrap my head around why I didn't like it, and I was like embarrassed that I didn't like something I thought was supposed to be good. So I remember always feeling weird about it. Be like, no, the ending's really good. I was just talking about the ending. You know, I just kind of buried this deep inside. So it was probably my 20s that kind of came out, and I just had this whole revelation like, fuck. Like I was broken as a kid. And I couldn't admit that this wasn't good because it had to be good. It was H2O. I don't like it because it's like Scream because I lived through that decline and it's been fucking with me ever since. So I saw Scream in the theaters. I saw Scream 2. I was like, okay, not as good, but we're good. Scream 3, and I was like, fuck, I freaked out. You know, I was at that age where I was like, life is over. I know you did last summer. I still know you did last summer. Urban Legend. It's just like this decline. So I just kind of wrapped this in my mind of like, there's a line I wrote down. The girl, Sarah, the cute one, is looking at her nerdy boyfriend. I agree. John said earlier off camera that kid was punching way above his weight, and he absolutely is.
Seriously.
Absolutely is.
How did that piece of casting happen? Like somebody was sucking to write somebody something.
They're in high school. You're telling me that when you were in high school, you didn't have some 10s with some like 2s?
No.
No. I had a big high school.
Oh, man. What high school did you go to, bro?
Michigan.
There you go.
She goes, Charlie, inconsiderate party of 1, your table is ready.
Inconsiderate party of 1, your table's ready.
And I'm like, what the fuck? What are we doing, man? What are we doing? Like, Scream was witty, but it had a balance and a nuance. I'm like, that's just fucking. I was like, dude, come on. That's somebody wanted to be like Kevin Williamson, you know, woke up late and didn't do the assignment. So I don't know. I guess that's the vibe I get to this movie. It's my least favorite mask with his giant open eyes. They light the fuck out of him. He's like so bright. Like there's an amazing scene where Laurie Strode's throwing knives at him, right? And he's like 4 feet away. Like, I'm talking, a blind man could make this target. And she misses. And then,
she misses like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. Like, but he's like right there. Like, they didn't establish, like, he's walking the hallway. He's like, he's really, if he just leaned more, he could have choked her. But she she knees him in the fucking groin, you know? She does a ball shot.
That's pretty funny.
But it's like, yeah, he gets the fucking eyes. Dude, what are we doing, man? What are we doing?
No, Scream was a bit like that. Ghostface would always get bitch slapped left and right. And...
Sure, I felt like this.
Ghostface was not cool, you know? He was a bit of a bumbling mess.
But I don't see a cool close-up of his eyes being like, what? You know, there wasn't that shit. And that to me is a line. And so, like, there are positives. I will say Adam Arkin being like a fucking smooth guidance counselor just trying to fuck. I was like, I like this guy. You know, I like Adam Arkin. He's all cool. He's a fucking nice head of hair. You know, he's like, hey, what are we doing later on? I was like, fucking Alan Arkin. There we go. There we go, buddy.
Wait. Place of employment.
Sorry, I needed a fix.
If that's a positive, we can talk about Alan Arkin. Fuck everybody else. Oh, just want him to get laid.
I'm so glad you brought him up because he's also the kind of the character that's like, think anything of him when I saw him as a kid, when I saw this movie as a kid, but rewatching it as an adult, as soon as he even shows up, it's like, who the fuck is this G? Like, this guy's the man.
He's all smooth, yeah.
He's such a pimp.
Yeah, so it's just weirdly put in, but there's a bit of horniness to this movie because obviously the 90s were far more Puritan. But Ella Cool J is writing a fuck novel.
With her long, slender legs, they climbed high up her skirt, leading to 2 tumultuous, round, melon breasts.
Adam Arkin's just trying to get in Jamie Lee Curtis, but there's no nudity, and the fucking teenagers are not trying to get laid at all. They want to
They want to play like Trouble or something, yeah.
Listen to music at respectable levels, like real respectable, because they're able to hear the fucking dummy waiter from like a mile away because it's at like a 6. It's like I don't want to be offensive,
One thing I like though is that they don't really waste time with the kills. It's those kids. It seems like I feel like it seems like it's going to be a fake out kill, kill, and then it's just like nope, he dies, she dies, and then it's a chase.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm sorry. I thought you meant like there's a lot of kills. There's like an hour and a half that goes by between kills. Yeah.
No, and I just meant like, and especially too, the pacing. To me, it feels quick because there's always just something happening, even if it's not extremely exciting in terms of the bathroom, like him stealing a car at the bathroom in the rest area.
That was a good scene though, because I thought that it was the right amount of tension.
Suspenseful though. Yeah.
But didn't drag though. It was like ba 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 ba. She screams.
Didn't they recall it in Gordon Green's 2018, but the chick in the bathroom actually dies? Didn't they do like a similar scene? Am I tripping?
Yeah, she's like pissing and he's like coming in. Yeah. And
he drops the teeth.
Yeah, that's a cool scene. I'll give you that.
Yeah, that Michael is much more mean than this Michael. This Michael just kind of like reaches, like snags her purse out, and then he fumbles through her purse.
The California school setting and look of it. It is so boring. It is so bright. It is so like just drab. I really don't like the coast. I got to be honest. Coastal Halloweens are depressing. I had my first one. It's like everything's bright and warm. It's cool because I'm like half naked drinking rum. But like, there's no Halloween feeling. There's like the feeling that like, in Illinois, it's kind of cold. It looks like somebody can murder you. Yeah, like somebody, I'm always looking in the alley, like, am I getting stabbed? Like, I like that feeling. I'm always a little fucking nervous, I'm always checking my doors. And here I'm like, oh, I'm just safe and warm. I don't know. So when they get the California school, it doesn't feel like the holiday it's set on. And I don't like that. I even at its worst, the old sequels at least had that vibe a little,
I can see that. I guess I've never viewed it as in regards to the holiday. I've always just viewed it as, I really like this boarding school as a slasher setting.
Wow.
But
yeah, I don't know. So here's the thing. Michael Myers has been doing detective work, snooping around looking for Laurie Strode for 20 years. That's the story. And then they meet up and Alan Arkin's trying to fuck Jamie Lee. Like that's the movie I should see. Michael Myers, like, fucking breaking the houses, like looking through shit, like looking over his shoulder and hears a noise, getting in, I'm assuming a car. Was he fucking walking? I don't know. To his like hideout. His thing's on like a cork board with the red strings. And he's like doing, Illinois. She's moving up the coast. That's the movie I want.
I have any problem with like what happens between Halloween 6 and H20. But yeah, you can have him like strangling Loomis, and then Loomis doesn't tell Michael where Laurie is, and
I won't tell. Yeah.
And then it's like it ends. You get like the Marvel post-credit scene, and he finds Marion Crane's address.
When I first saw it, I called it, Michael Myers in Dawson's Creek. That's what it reminded me of.
You're correct.
It looks like a TV show almost. It's almost shot like a TV show in some instances. Teenage hijinks and, which is very safe and PG, even though it's a rated R film. But, when go to the sun and what's her name? Michelle Williams. And then, she banged, the door shuts, and then there's like that top shot and she's like, Michael. And then finally they use the Halloween music. You're like, okay, that's Halloween.
And she's walking up. She's like walking up the hill with the axe. It's such a good shot.
That's a good shot. So I'll give the movie that. But if there would have been more of that and less of Scream wannabe, Dawson's Creek wannabe, I would have liked it more. And even darker cinematography, just to make it feel more like a horror film.
I mean, I've edited a lot of different videos on Halloween, and so one of the things I always care about is cool shots of Michael.
Yeah.
And H20 just has so many cool shots of Michael that I end up using over and over just because they end up looking so cool. And one in particular is the Laurie and Michael looking at each other through the door. I remember that from the ads. They showed that so much, and I love it so much.
You're
Lance.
you're out of your mind, dude. You're out of your mind. I'm sorry.
What?
Like, you're out of your mind. That is the worst scene in the movie. That's the scene that I use in my head every time. Like, I'm like, okay, is it really good or am I just on drugs? And I'm like, no. That's the scene where he's like fucking wide-eyed and he's just like right there.
You serious?
Well, I thought that was a pretty cool scene, actually.
No,
I think
both,
it's probably one of the best scenes in the movie.
You're both wrong.
I think it's one of the best scenes in the whole franchise.
Easy, Tiger. Easy.
Michael's been wanting her for so long, and he is literally inches from her, and he can't get to her. Like, I love that.
The way it's shot. Yes, the mask is stupid. The eyes are too
Get over the mask.
big.
Who is that? My brother. Michael!
The eyes, but he does the actor does these eyes,
Beautifully made, in terms of the shots, the edit. Yeah, I thought that scene it's the only time I felt tension in that movie. Like, it's the usual convention. We've seen it a million times in a horror movie. Killer's coming. Actually, I think it was in the first Halloween. Oh, the keys, get the keys, before the killer shows up. They did the same thing. And even though I knew they'd get away with it, I've seen the movie before, I still felt it. I'm like, oh, fuck, come on, man.
I do like that he reaches in the fence and actually swings for him instead of the stabbing. Because stabbing isn't smart. You're going to miss. But if you swing, you're more likely to get some contact. And I thought that was smart.
Thank you. No, I hate the movie.
But it's a stupid shot, and I hate all of it. And I think it was lame. And the trailer has the alien mask, and the movie has the eye mask. And it just completely makes me just...
I think the thing I love about this the most is I went into this thinking, because Lance likes 90s stuff so much, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be able to get Lance on my side, and then John's going to be the one that can't. But then John's just like, no, this movie sucks, but I'll give it to it for this and that and that. Yeah. And Lance is just like, fuck this.
Like I said, fuck it, maybe it's Halloween Ends that did it, because the last Halloween movie I watched was Halloween Ends. Actually, now that I think about it, Corey is driving Michael everywhere on the back of the bike in H2O before finding that fuck.
Oh, you're saying they're working together to like solve the crimes?
Yeah, maybe Gordon Green's is prequel to H2O.
Loomis, that's another thing. So I'll give you this. I hate the Loomis impersonator
the
at
guy
the
they hired
beginning.
last minute, yeah. Well,
He sounds terrible.
Gordon Green sounds better. This guy,
we could do better Loomises than that. That's how bad that was.
The blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
I was funny because the reviews now are bad. If you look at IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, not that I give them any validation per se, but I'm always curious what the masses think. And this is rated in its 50s and 40s. I'm like, oh, I remember people liking it. I went back and looked at some reviews. People did like it because I remember this being a popular entry, and it's weird that it's not. But it's not right now. Like, another generation came in and voted, and they voted correctly. But it was well liked for most of my life.
Yeah, when it came out, everybody loved it.
Yeah, it was the highest rated one I remember, or if not, it was better than 2.
Yeah, I think it was right around the time that the Rob Zombie movies were out that then suddenly it started to change perception towards it.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, Lance, H2O or Halloween Ends? Which one's your favorite out of the 2?
I would pick Halloween Ends. Yeah, but I'll tell you why. But let me give you a reason. I hate Halloween.
Really?
I think it's absolutely terrible.
How about this? How about you don't tell me why and you go fuck yourself?
No, I'm defending myself. That is not correct. I don't think it's a good movie. I don't think it's a good movie at all. I don't like it. Me and Tyler made fun of it for like a whole episode, but at least has a couple cool kills, regardless if it's Michael Myers or not. So technically, that's a better movie. This has no kills. There's an awkward stabbing, and there's an off-screen death, and then poor Alan Arkin gets in the back. It's boring shit. I'm sorry. The kills to this are the worst in the series. The
series was never really. They made it about kills that are on part 4, where they
but that's
jacked up and reshoots the gore. And part 5 is actually fairly restrained. Really, there's a lot of off-screen stuff. The thing and. I never perceived Halloween as a gore film, more suspense-driven as opposed to Jason.
I feel like the first one, but ever since then, they've always been kind of trickling a little more in that kind of like.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And 2, he drawn the girl and.
But you like Halloween Ends? A fucking 3-hour fuckfest.
I don't like Halloween Ends, but at least it has cool kills. No, I just
more than H2O.
Shame on you.
H2O bores me to death, and I'd rather have a.
It's 86 minutes.
I know, longest of my life. I actually paused this and went outside, sat in the sun for 20 minutes because I was so bored. No rules out.
I hated the fact that the kid who's played by that kid who's like famous now. I forgot.
Yeah, kid from Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah, but
yeah,
he grew up
Joseph
to be,
Gordon-Levitt.
like in Batman, The Dark Knight Rises, right? Who played like the Robin thing. I wanted to see the skate go in his face. That always disappointed me. That we just. I love the actor, nothing to do with him, but it's a cool kill. Bang.
I think
they both were off screen too. In the
logic of it, I think that they couldn't show it because it doesn't. Once you actually start breaking it down, that's when you get into teleporting Michael kind of territory, where it's like he would have had to been sprinting, like, okay, I'm gonna quickly kill this person, quickly kill this, and then I'm going back.
That's a good point.
Last negative thing I'll say about the movie, because it's a convention that really pissed me off after a while. Is that Michael? Oh, is that Michael? Oh, is that Michael? Oh no, it's LL Cool J. Like that whole, like, really, dude, I don't give a fuck how traumatized you are, man. If somebody's coming your way, you'll be like, who the fuck is that? Okay, it's LL Cool J. That whole, like, she sees Michael everywhere, that's kind of annoying to me. I thought it was a cheap ploy to kind of keep some kind of suspense going in the film when there was actually nothing going on, just somebody walking towards Laurie. So one time fine, but I think it did it like a couple times, 3 times.
I believe in the commentary, Steve Miner says something of how, like, most of the time that actually is Michael that she's seeing, and that then
why is it LL showing up?
But then he's leaving, and then LL is like going, you know what I mean? They're doing like the switcheroo.
But hold on, what about when they're outside of town and she looks in the mirror? It's like broad daylight. The street.
Oh yeah, not all of them.
And LL. But hold on,
I'm just saying. I just listen to the commentary and I'm parroting what they're saying.
I'm not fighting you in this, man. I was gonna say there's an awesome meme out there, in a shot from that scene where Laurie's yelling at her son. And behind them was a barber shop. And the meme was like, the barber shop is right there. And it's, poor fucking what's his face with this terrible looking hair. That messy look from the 90s, which I'll even admit, I think I had that look at one point in high school. I know that I did. I probably looked like an idiot.
Overly gelled.
Yeah, the messy look that Hartnett has in here. But he looks like an idiot this far in the future. And, there's memes out there. It's like, the barbershop is right there, man. You could have walked right in, fixed that, But, I mean, I'm going to say this real quick before we move on and leave.
Genuinely, this is probably the video I'm most curious to see with comments, because I don't know. Like, I remember back in the day on the Joe Blow horror forums, which I was a part of, H20 was loved, very, very loved. And it's like, I don't know what it is at this point. Because like Lance said, I think that it's taken a turn where people aren't a fan. But then maybe Halloween Ends has done what it did to John and then made him appreciate this one. I don't know. Halloween Ends made me appreciate Resurrection even.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I don't know. I've been flirting with the idea of rewatching it, but I don't know, man.
I mean, it's not great.
I remember that blonde chick was pretty hot in it.
Yeah, Katie Sackhoff.
Because that was what? It had to be 2000, I'm assuming, right? It couldn't be 99.
2002?
2002, wow.
Because I feel like Resurrection, they had it filmed and it took a little bit for it to come out.
I saw it in theaters.
Yeah, 2002.
It was a very empty theater. I think there's 2 other people. And I remember watching the entire movie, and the only scene that I liked in that whole fucking movie is at the very end where he like wakes up and the mask is melted to his face. I remember like, oh, okay, there's one thing that's not a complete bastardization. I remember I walked out and I was angry. And
well, and John, if you haven't seen it in a long time, because one of your big complaints for H20 was the lighting, and I think Lance, you also said the same. Resurrection actually does have like decent lighting because they have that stupid like underground area, and it's actually like it's lit like you would think an underground area would be lit. Versus, I'm sure in this film it would be overly lit because I agree they're going for the Scream aesthetic, which has always been my criticism of Scream, is that it's just.
I never thought it was a problem. Scream. I don't know why.
Yeah, Scream is Scream.
Yeah, it was his own thing. With this, you see his eyes all the time. Same with Jason Voorhees. I don't want to see the Jason or Michael Myers eyes. I think the blackness is what adds.
But don't you like the Rob Zombie films?
Yeah.
PCP homeless man.
Yeah, it's Jason Voorhees. Here's what I always tell people. I love Freddy vs. Jason. I worked in the movie theater when it came out. It was a great fucking time. I know it has issues and people don't like it, but I think it's silly fun. But I felt that Jason Voorhees was very Michael Myers, and I took that personally. So when Rob Zombie comes along and makes his Michael Myers Jason, I'm like, good. I got mine. I got mine. You know, people are like, hey, it's so aggressive and crazy. I'm like, yeah, just like Jason Voorhees. That's what I want, you know?
That's why I liked the David Gordon Green movies, is that, yeah, he's pretty much like Jason now, which also I understand if someone watches those and doesn't like it because they want a different Michael, because there's many different versions of Michael. So everyone just has a different one that they prefer. So
yeah, absolutely.
Guys, I'm going to put an indecent proposal on the table. I think we should bring Tyler back for Halloween Resurrection. We should take that one.
I mean, I haven't seen it in 20 years, man. Sure.
I know. And I think the challenge will be to actually find good things.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, find good things. Of course, we're going to rip it to shreds. Although, again, maybe the same thing will happen to me that happened with H20 after the Gordon Green trilogy.
I don't know.
Like, you know what? It's all right. You know, trick or treat, motherfucker. You know, all that shit. Yeah, remember that shit?
Oh,
of course. That's the part. He comes back and saves the day.
Yeah,
or what about when he just like talks down to Michael while he's wearing a Michael suit and Michael just takes it?
Yeah, and walks away.
Like a bitch.
Yeah. Oh man, it was rough. It was rough.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
So I'll get something stronger than Cerveza Pacifico Clara. Well, guys, thank you for sitting in with us. What do you think, H2O? I mean, are you a huge fan? Do you hate the shit out of it? Are you in the middle? Spit some comments. Bust some balls. I guess that's pretty much it, right, boys? Any last words?
Yeah. It is what it is, man. This is that movie. It exists for sure.
Yeah, let your be as mean as you want in those comments to us, because I'm fine if you hate it. You can talk shit to me all you want. I just want to see some opinions on this, just because I want to be able to have a good gauge of what the general reaction to this film is, because I feel like I don't know at this point.
Yeah. All right, well, guys, dolls, thank you for sitting through this, and we appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. All right? Cheers.
Cheers,
boys.